Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. So today we have a very quick and dirty lesson in DSLR video for photographers. We're going to try and do this in under 5 minutes. Start the clock right now. So if you're a photographer, I'm going to try and teach you DSLR video in as little time as possible. This is just the basics. So there's not going to be a lot of fancy editing here. There's not going to be a lot of B-roll and cutaways. It's going to be me just telling you what to do. So first of all, you're a photographer. Get your camera in manual mode. Don't use any of the auto settings. Get in manual mode, or depending on your camera, turn the dial to the thing that looks like a movie camera, and that will be manual mode for video for you. If there are settings in your camera, go to where it says movie settings, and then you're going to want to set your camera to either 24 or 30 frames per second. 24 looks more like movies and film, 30 is more like television. Most people, if you're doing online video, you want 30, it's going to be smoother. Go ahead and do that. So now we're going to get to all the exposure settings: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. The main thing to worry about here is shutter speed. You do not have any freedom when it comes to shutter speed when you're shooting video. Zero. Get it out of your mind. You cannot adjust your exposure based on shutter speed when you're shooting video. The rule for shutter speed when you're shooting video is double whatever the frame rate is. We just said 24 frames per second. 30 frames per second, that means that you're going to be shooting at 1/50 or 1/60, and that's it. That is where you need to be right now. There are more advanced video shooting settings. We're not covering that here. This is the bare minimum basics for you. So you're locked in at either 1/50 or 1/60 like we talked about. For reference, we'll just say 1/60. Now, what this does is it does let a considerable amount of light in to your camera, which means that you'll have to adjust your ISO and your aperture accordingly in order to handle exposure. You also want to go ahead and take any auto white balance off of your camera and set the white balance manually. If you don't, when it comes to video, because you're not shooting stills, if there are any subtle changes at all, it will look very bad in your video. So you want to make sure that the white balance is consistent throughout. So go ahead and lock in your white balance. As for your ISO, you want this to be as low as possible. Grain is forgivable or even like sometimes desirable when it comes to still photos. Not really at all when it comes to video unless it's in post-processing. So the lower you can get your ISO, the better. This means for video, you want to use continuous lighting wherever possible, or you'll want to shoot in natural outdoor light. I prefer continuous lighting in most scenarios because I can control it. For video, it's probably best to have a ND filter on standby. You'll want a variable ND filter so that you can control it. You'll want this to be a high quality ND filter, variable ND filter anyway, from Tiffin or Hoya, because if not, this could affect the autofocusing for your video. With that in mind, we're moving to aperture. This is where you have the most flexibility and creative control. If you're using an ND filter because it might be bright outside, then that means that you can get great bokeh with your images. You can go ahead and you can have that low ISO. You can get great crisp footage that looks smooth, does not have a lot of grain or noise, and it is perfect despite all the light coming in because of your 1/60 shutter speed. Ideally, shoot in a flat profile so that you can process this and do color grading later. If you don't want to do advanced video editing, then go ahead and get your profile settings perfect in camera if that's your preference. I prefer to shoot flat because that's just going to give you the most to work with later. Aperture for video works much the same way that it does for photo. It's going to help you control what's in the focus, and it's going to affect sharpness, so just keep all of that in mind. Let's talk about focus. Ideally, I prefer to use manual focus as much as possible with video. You can use continuous autofocus. There are issues with this. If you do this, it can be unreliable, especially when it comes to moving subjects. That's why, again, I prefer to do manual focusing wherever possible. If you're going to do it, ideally, I would say shoot mirrorless if you can, because those just happen to have much more silent, continuous autofocusing, and it actually turns out to be a lot more accurate and precise when it comes to motion tracking on these video things. So that's what I would do. When it comes to metering, I prefer spot metering when it comes to video. So that's my preference. You might want to experiment. Matrix metering can give you a more consistent overall look, so it really just depends. With video, you want to use memory cards with the highest read and write speeds, so I would just go ahead and use a 1000X memory card, just whatever has the highest speeds that you can afford, get that. Ultimately, those are your quick and dirty basics of DSLR video. Obviously, there's more I can get into, like what do you do in low light situations, etc. But again, this is the bare minimum of what you need to know to get started. If you still have questions, there are plenty of other videos in my DSLR tutorial playlist, so make sure you're checking that out, or you can ask questions in the comment section below. Also, question of the day, have you started shooting DSLR video yet? And what kind of DSLR video stuff are you shooting right now? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. In fact, if you know a photographer that hasn't started shooting video yet, share this video with them. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.